everybody, my name is Jo and I love to read. Today I'm going to be talking about my 3 favourite covers and my worst cover of the books that I have read between July and December in 2022. I think we'll get the spice out of the way, so I'm going to talk about the cover that I think is the worst out of all the books that I've read in this last 6-month period. I am going to be looking down a bit because I'm going to be looking at the cover on my laptop, but I will pop a cover up there so that you guys can compare it with me, and of course this is the edition that I've read as well. My worst cover is The Housemaid by Frieda McFadden. It was actually kind of difficult to pick the worst cover out of all the ones that I read. This one itself isn't actually too bad. The main gripe that I have with it is that the tagline at the top here, at least in this edition that I've read, doesn't seem super accurate to me. The tagline goes, "From behind closed doors, she sees everything." Which I guess, but also not at the same time, because a big part of the plot is that someone isn't what they seem. So no, she doesn't see everything. And I feel like it adds a bit more of a, what's the word? Honestly, malicious, that's the word. Adds a bit more of a malicious edge to the character's thoughts and her role in the house than to what, or her intention in the house to what it actually is. Tell you what, this baby brain thing, the way that it manifests for me is that I know that the word exists, but it can be really hard for me to think of it, and sometimes it will take me a long time. So far I have been picking the words still, but it's really difficult, so that's an interesting thing with baby brain for me. Back to the book though, it was used for marketing purposes to get people to buy in, but I feel the plot that happens is more of a result of her surroundings than her necessarily making things happen, because she is the housemaid that everybody is afraid of, in that she goes through people's things and steals people's things and stuff like that. That's absolutely not what she's like at all. So I just feel like that's a bit misleading, probably to make the book seem a bit more edgier. And the only other thing that I would say is I probably would just like the blue background. I know that it's supposed to appear to be a kind of wood grain, but I just feel like it doesn't necessarily look like a door. I know that they've probably zoomed in so that the eye will stand out, but I just feel like there could have been a few more things done to it just to make it a bit accurate to what the plot is actually about. Now, onto my favourite covers. The first one, I've got to show you the gold foil in all of its majesty, because even though the cover online does look beautiful, you just can't see how gorgeous it is until you see the foil. I don't think the back isn't super spectacular, but it is so beautiful, and I've loved this cover ever since I've seen it. And I actually wasn't going to buy this book just because of the cover, because I thought, I've already got so many editions of Harry Potter, why? But then I actually saw the page edges of the second one, because there's 2 out so far, and I thought, why is there so many gaps? What has been done to them? And it's actually all the paper engineering in them, which is so cool. But anyways, we're talking about the cover. I love the foiled edges, but I just think scenery shots for me win me over every time. Even my favorite illustrations in here are generally scenery shots, and I just love the combinations that the MinaLima artists have managed to do on the cover. I love all the greens and the beautiful shot of Hogwarts up there, and how it's just, I don't know, it's just spectacular. They've just done such a good job of doing it, and then in conjunction with the gold foil. And I also like the red symbolism and probably the gold as well. I don't know whether they'll continue the gold foil or whether they might do silver at some stage, but I just love that it's like gold and red, which is the Gryffindor colours, so good symbolism there for the main characters. But yeah, it's just beautiful, absolutely beautiful. My second favourite cover is The Handmaid's Tale by Margaret Atwood. The one that I read, I love the, words are failing me again, baby brain. I love the abstractness, I think that's what I want to say, of this cover. It's kind of hard to know, considering now that The Handmaid's Tale is so big and we all generally in popular media, because of the TV show as well, and because this is a classic book, it's hard to tell whether this book, this particular edition, would have made such an impact with it having been a newly released book and nobody actually knows the symbolism of what the main character is wearing. I don't know whether that would have made it interesting, but definitely someone who knew knew roughly what it was about and that the handmaids wear the red and the white. I just think that it's a really striking cover, and the artist has done a really good interpretation of putting this in a beautiful layout. I would be really proud to have this edition on my shelf. I happen to have read it on ebook, but I think it's really gorgeous and a good way to sort of make the cover striking but also not make it so horrific. It's a difficult thing to portray, but I think they've done really, really well. And my final favourite book cover of the books that I've read for these past 6 months is The Dictionary of Lost Words by Pip Williams. I just think that the symbolism of the edition that I have received is awesome. I really feel like the artist has actually read the book, or they've gotten the proper briefing, and that they've created a cover that is so true to what it is, and it's also pretty beautiful too. We've got the poppies, which symbolise the World War I, which brings a big part of the book at the end, and then we've got the title is written on slips, which is when the dictionary was created, people would send in slips with words that they think should be in the dictionary. We've got the case, which features a lot in it as well. I'm not going to tell you guys why. And then I also love the background, the fact that it's this beautiful blue, but it's got writing in it in the background as well, because this is a book that is heavily featured on words as well. So I just think that this is, although it's not necessarily the most stunning cover, I think it is absolutely accurate to what the book is about, and it is pretty itself, even if it's not gorgeous. So those are my 1 least favourite and my 3 favourite covers of the books that I read from July to December 2022 last year. What was your favourite cover? Do you like any of these covers? Let me know your opinions about covers. I love talking about them because they're just so absolutely beautiful. And don't forget to like, comment and subscribe. I'll talk to you guys again in another video. Bye!